Hey folks, thanks for joining us again. We got the latest real estate numbers. I'm going to break it down by week ending May 3rd. However, I'm also going to compare a whole month, so April this year to April last year. And April is the first full month that we're in this health crisis. I want to first tell you a personal story. We listed a property on Friday afternoon, midday. We went live on the MLS. Right away, within a half an hour of going live on MLS, we already started to get showings booked for showings the next day on Saturday. So we showed the property on the weekend. We had about a dozen or so showings for the weekend, but Saturday night we received an offer right away. A few other people were close to putting in an offer on Sunday, but were kind of scared away from the offer that came in. We started negotiating on Sunday night with that offer that we received on Saturday. And remember, we only listed the home on Friday. And Monday morning, we had a firm offer in place, no conditions, at a great price. Now, when we chose the listing price, in talking to the sellers and showing them what was sold January and February, we didn't even take into account that we were in a COVID health crisis situation. We picked a price as if it was a normal market. We looked at what sold January, February compared to their home, and we picked a price accordingly, and we sold very close to asking. The sellers are happy, buyers are happy, everybody's happy. That's my personal experience, very recent, just happened 2 days ago on Monday. Today's Tuesday, right, Danny? Today's Tuesday. Sorry, I had to ask my marketing manager. Today's Tuesday. We sold it firm yesterday and deposit came in right away. So that's my experience physically being in the field. The only difference is by this time we would have sold maybe a dozen homes. And over the last week, we sold one. That's the difference. So volume is down, but prices, not really. We're kind of where we would normally be in many situations. And I'm saying this because I almost feel like when I go through this report, I'm going to disappoint a lot of people. I'm having people call me, past clients, current clients, thinking that everything's going to crash. Sales are way down. I'm going to show you that, but prices, not so much. And again, I almost feel like I'm disappointing people, but I'm telling you exactly what's happening out there. So let's get started. So this is the Market Watch. The Toronto Real Estate Board sends this report out once a month for the previous month. So this is for all of April. And we can finally use this report, which it makes sense. I couldn't use the previous report because March was kind of split up with the first 2 weeks of March, normal market, second 2 weeks of March, health crisis market. So I couldn't use that month as a barometer. But April is the first month we're fully have been in this health crisis, and we could really compare April this year to last year. So let's looking at sales. Everything sold on the Toronto Real Estate Board. Sales are down 67%. No news there, right? We know sales are down. Prices, comparing month to month, actually went up 0.1%. So they stayed the same, basically. Sales, there's been no gains really on average sold price since last year. Let's look a little bit closer because this average sold price represents all properties across all the GTA. Detached, comparing April to April last year, went down 3.5%. Semis actually went up 7.5%. Towns went down 3.8%, and condos went down 1.7%. So some home styles went up in price, some home styles went down in price. Taking a closer look at Vaughan. So Vaughan, actually the last 2 weeks, average sold price has shot up. It's really tricky though to take this as a wow, prices are going up in Vaughan. I don't want to say that necessarily. There's only 14 homes that were sold, and when there's that little sales, one or two properties can affect the overall price. And in this situation, half of those sales sold at $1 million or more, and one of them sold at $2 million, and one of those properties sold at $3.5 million. So that brought up the average sold price. When we compare to last year, we're on average way higher than what we sold last year as far as average sold price. Sales were slightly up from what we were, and 14 is actually higher than it's been over the last few weeks. But we're at 59 sales for that week last year. New listings, we've gone up in new listings. I kind of get in the feel that people are getting used to this new normality that we're seeing out there, and because this is the spring market, we should be having, in this case here in Vaughan for freehold, there should have been 100, well, last year there were 177 new listings. We've got 58 this year. So there's lots of people that kind of were planning to be on the market and are not. I think they're just getting more comfortable now with the way things are, and they're seeing other properties out there selling, and people are starting to kind of get out there. Looking at freehold Toronto, prices went down slightly. Of these 98 that sold, 38, so that's almost 40%, sold at list price or more. We are about 8.2% lower in average sold price than what we were last year. However, this year, over $2 million, there were 7 properties sold. And last year at this time, there were 44 properties sold. So you know that affects the average sold price. And when I said earlier that 33 of these sold at list price or more, you're competing out there still. Or homes are being sold quickly or bought quickly. It's for a third or almost 40% of those properties, it's a competition. They're not necessarily selling at a reduced price. New listings shot up over last week also in Toronto. Looking at Vaughan condos, I'm not going to say too much here for Vaughan condos. There was only 4 that were sold. Prices kind of came down a little bit, but there's only 4, so it's really hard to take that number seriously. Maybe you can say we're a little bit lower, and judging by those numbers, we're a little bit lower, but again, only 4 were sold, so it all depends on which 4 were sold. There's the 4 that were sold there, and we've been increasing in new listings in the Vaughan area. Looking at Toronto, condo prices shot up, well, not shot up, but went up a little bit week over week here. We're slightly less, and this is just the city of Toronto area. Condo prices went down, are a little bit lower than what they were last year, but keep in mind, condos that sold for $1 million or more, this year we've got 6. The same week last year we had 25. So in this number, there were 25 condos that sold for $1 million or more. In calculating this average sales number, there was only 6. So just that alone tells you that the average sold prices are going to be a little bit lower now. Now, to dig deeper, if you own a condo or you're looking to buy a condo, we need to look at your price point and see what happened to those prices. Is those same condos, you're buying a 700 square foot condo, for example. What's a 700 square foot condo costing this year versus what it cost last year? And that'll let you know, have prices for that condo gone up or gone down? This number here, average sold price, just represents an average of what was sold. Here's the condo sales again. Last year we sold 384. This year 96. And condo listings are kind of staying the same here. We're 300 last week, 285, 284 the week before. So the overall picture is, I think, steady as she goes. Activity is down. Prices, not so much. Sometimes yes, sometimes no. It all depends. We're not in a free market situation. When we talk about market price, market value, one of the deciding factors in defining market value is that there's no undue pressure with the seller or the buyer. And in this case, there is. There are people that are panicking, but I think overall, judging by what's going on with the prices, most people are in a wait and see situation, what's going on, and they're kind of dipping their foot in the listing pool to say, let me put my house out there. We're way less as far as activity than what we were last year, but prices overall in general are kind of steady as she goes and are overall on par to where they were last year. If you have any questions, let me know. My name is Santo Sessa with RE/MAX Premier. Subscribe below, hit the bell, that way you get reminding when these new videos come up, and check us out on our Instagram, check us out on all our YouTube videos and on Facebook. Have a great day and be safe.